Okay, yes, you are welcome. It is the 5th day of March, 2026, and my name is Ayo, and this is the Deep Project Town Hall. And in the history of Deep Funding, Deep Projects, we've had more than 81 town halls. So this is this for me feels very emotional. It feels like I mean new things will start as we will see. I mean, and that's exactly what this town is about. To inform clarity, to discuss, to so yeah, I mean, but I mean, it also feels like, oh, these things would no longer be the same way as they were. Now I'm jumping the gun, but that I said all of that to say you're welcome to this particular town hall, and it is going to be an interesting one. If you give me a second, I will share my screen. I have this slide to share. So if you can see my screen, please let me know.
Yes, I can.
Okay.
Yes, I can.
All right. And there's nothing blocking it, some of those funny stuff. Okay, good.
No
All right.
stuff.
All right. Thank you so much. So, welcome to today's town hall. We have a couple of things on the agenda. We hope that we can take all of them, but if we cannot take all of them, we will do good justice to anyone that we do take, right? So, and I think that is the best thing that we can promise ourselves, right? Somehow my slides refuse to go all the way to the beginning. Okay, finally, it's doing that. Yes, so we have SingularityNET goals and roadmap. We have BizDev microsite presentation. We have operations portal presentation, and then we're hoping for some extra Q&A at the end of that. But it's also important that we have people who, for example, maybe watching this on YouTube or catching up with this meeting later to have some context. Talk a little bit about who we are, what we do. And this is a very good point to also say that we used to be known as Deep Funding, but now we are Deep Project. Now we have everything inside of the project, as you will see. And so what we want to do is that we want everyone to be able to join us to build the future of decentralized AI. We like people to come with their ideas. We like people to come on our platform. We like to get AGI and beneficial AGI going and working together. So this is, if you're watching this from at any point in time or from anywhere in the world, this is an open invitation to join us at the project. And we do this with the help of vibrant communities. We connect, we collaborate, we co-create, we discuss, we share. We identify ourselves based on different roles and different capacities and different perspectives and different backgrounds. And we come together to make this very robust community, this very robust ecosystem where we can all bring beautiful things alive in terms of AGI. And one of the things that we realized was that sometimes we may need to try things, right? Maybe people, it could be a little bit expensive or also expertise and capital intensive, to experiment, to try. And so we came up with Deep Labs. And so you would, if you, I will put a link to in the chat. Priscilla, you can help me with that so that people can see the Deep Project website and then people can, learn more. And we also have the Deep Hydration. Also, I don't want to take so much time on this. Also something, to look forward to, something to really learn about our ecosystem. And today's town hall is quite different from the ones that we'll be having because, like I said at the beginning, we'll be discussing the future, discussing the things that we will be doing, right? And this that you are seeing on your screen plays directly into some of the things that we'll discuss in terms of we are an ecosystem where people, companies, organizations can come on our operations to execute some of the things that they may not have, the system or infrastructure for. So yes, and we have been busy. We are not just all talk. We've been doing this for a while, and you can see that yes, we've done quite a lot. And this is time I expect to see some applause on the screen. I mean, to have these numbers executed in the space of time.
We can no longer hear you, I think. Ayo?
But everybody's applauding, so they seem to like it.
Oh my God, yeah, that was a bit too harsh. You're saying people don't want to listen to Ayo. That's what you're saying.
What was that?
Yeah, welcome back, Ayo. We stopped listening to you for a few minutes, but it's okay. Please continue where you are.
Oh my, so sorry about that. So we're saying that what is the basis? What is the basis for our confidence? How do people know that we are serious about what we do and that what we do will persist, and continue to exist? It is because we are built on some core important pillars, the ASI chain, making sure that whatever we build can reach people, and then that people's privacy can be protected, and then that we can reach as many people as we can. And then we have the open code Hyperon. We are building an open source AGI around the framework to advance all of the dreams that we have. Without further ado, we are evolving. A lot of things are changing. And this is why it is important to talk about our mother organization's strategy, what we can expect from everyone, and what it is that the roadmap that we will all use to get to our goals and the destination. So please, with a round of applause, join me as I welcome Eli to do justice to this side of the agenda item. Eli, do you need to present so that we can give you?
No, I didn't realize I was so fully featured. So much is invited. No, what I can bring here beautifully. Priska and everybody have supported me well into asking some of the questions, looking for some clarity on my perspective on what SingularityNET is looking for in the future, what our vision is. As Jan has shared very well, everything about how our community arms will begin to collaborate closer is still in fuzz and still deciding. So many of these questions we just can't answer yet. I'm still looking for the answers for the BGI Nexus community myself as well. So, and just to share sort of broadly, because I mean, SNET has never tried to make it a mystery what we're aiming towards. And I was taking notes on what was on your slide because you encapsulated chain and Hyperon so beautifully. This group, this cohort really knows and understands SingularityNET. I would say that actually the biggest gap is just that SingularityNET hasn't been transparent, as not transparent, as permeable in giving guidance to what is being looked for in the past. And that is one of the things that is we woke up to. We're experiencing a strong shift. There's been attempts to share more closely with the ambassadors, with Deep, with BGI Nexus, how those core cohorts of community can integrate more closely. But things have been busy and lots happening, and those those connections weren't quite made as strongly as they can be. Of course, Jan, Raphael, Peter, Esther, myself, we understand what we understand from what's happening within SingularityNet, and we try to bring that news out to the communities as best we can. And yet, we aren't the CMO. We can't directly translate that vision into next steps. We are not the Hyperon researchers. We can't say precisely what they need at any given point. And so there's been an understanding and awakening that we could be doing this so much better, and that will accelerate our efforts so much more, as they have been, as has been demonstrated by the ambassadors, by Deep, and all the amazing projects and marketing and decentralized governance experiments that have been happening here, as is happening in BGI Nexus with the working groups. So again, the ideal, the goal we're striving for in this transition is to make things even clearer. What do we need? Not just talking about how great Hyperon is, but actually giving community an opportunity to work on the components themselves, or to build a community around a component itself. Or, we've got this marketing initiative, and we would like community to be equal partners in helping us spread the words through channels that we don't even imagine. Right. So we want to bring this communication closer, and it's a process, right? There's a lot of things to align in the organization. We're very used to our own pathways of organization, our own neural network of how we talk for and ask for things. So building these connectors between our internal systems and the external systems, that's what's being sort of worked out right now, so that it's seamless. The brain thinks about moving, and the foot moves, and running can happen, and that coordination is frictionless. So that's really what's being built and designed, and how that works is still in discussion. Fortunately, the Deep community has built really robust and amazing systems for that exact communication, right? And they're launching every day now. They're really coming ripe, and that's really exciting, because it's very easy to have the community or have the organization need a thing, and to then translate that, ask for that thing, and then have somebody in the community either step up with a proposal, with a full team, or just somebody who has that expertise and can execute that and deliver it back, right? We just need to make those channels really effortless, almost invisible, so that we can all work together on this. So then what I would say for what's happening now is there will be quite, because things are accelerating. I mean, part of this clarity is things are accelerating so much. ASI Create is in its alpha. It still has some work to do to get over the finishing line of launch, but it is all of that work is shaping beautifully, and the Deep and ambassadors who've been giving feedback are critical in getting it to that point. We need more of that. Hyperon is accelerating. We have PLN 0.5, 0.6, 0.7, I think we're at 0.9 now, and ECAN is just about to do the same sort of escalation. We have DOS, whatever it's called, 0.5, its initial version. We have the PETA fast compiler, and we're starting to see in meetings, we're starting to see this cognitive synergy. We're able to start to bring them together, to work together, and we're starting to be able at least to bridge them to neural components. Most of what we've been developing are the symbolic aspects, because the neural aspects are done very well by the larger world right now. It's been the focus in AI for a number of years, but the symbolic piece has been so neglected. And so we're starting to build the bridge that will connect the two. and then turn that into a pipeline, and then turn that into an integration. And so I think that's the spot, that's the momentum. And of course, ASI chain is coming up, and the technology there is so important, and it's so amazing what it can do and what it can unlock. That, I mean, even today I was having conversations about local meetups and local hackathons, and it's like, it's trying to explain to somebody that it's still, months away. We still have to do uh, testnet 1, testnet 2, and then mainnet, plus all the audits between here and there. But we know that its power and its capability are so big that that's how far we have to be thinking right now and shaping right now. So again, the idea is, how can we utilize this amazing energy in the community to go beyond what our small internal teams can do, and to do so much more and accelerate so much of what we're doing, far beyond what we can do internally. And we just want to make those processes. I expect, like, we're working out how that starts to happen. It's going to evolve. I expect some bumps and hiccups. We've done some experimentation with that Hyperon RFPs, and their massive success is absolutely part of what woke us up to the opportunity within the rest of Deep for these kinds of collaboration. And we just want to we want to build with the community the systems that help us do more, help us build more, help us build together. So one of the biggest priorities Ben's mentioned frequently, end of last year, was we're starting to have these Hyperon components come online. Now we need the tutorials, we need the documentation, we need demos, we need, use cases. So we need everything that open source communities need to get involved, right? How do we take it so that somebody doesn't say, "Ooh, PLN, what's that? That sounds interesting," and come to the GitHub and be like, "Oh, this is a mess," and leave. We need that not to happen. We need people to come and say, "Oh, I see what this is. Oh, I see how I could use it. Oh, I see there's some bugs here, but I see how I could fix that," and start to participate, start to build it, start to accelerate it, right? And that could be within Deep, or it could be Deep outreach into communities of people who are ready and ripe for these kinds of technologies. So getting good at helping build open source communities around our Hyperon components is a huge strategic necessity this year. Our marketing team has an ASI Academy plan that they're working on, that is both helping them to educate themselves so that they can really intelligibly tell the world about these technologies, but then also get the help of the community to spread this as well. So I think that these pieces here, we really have a strong and focused vision on how do we accelerate these products that are coming to launch: ASI Create, ASI Chain. We've had a lot of developments around Questor lately as it evolves into something that's really powerful, interesting, and that you can't replicate or do somewhere else. And then, of course, the Hyperon components. And we've got a lot of that focus on how do we build communities who are building on these products, ASI Create, ASI Chain, and how do we build communities who are willing to work with bleeding edge deep tech that's buggy and not well documented and still halfway in research and likely to change entirely tomorrow. So don't build it into your enterprise level tech stack, but help us get it to that spot where it is enterprise ready, right? Contribute to that. And I was having a small chat with Priska the other day, and saying that it's not an unknown science building decentralized open source communities. This is something that's known. It's a business model that companies choose. Mozilla, OpenOffice, LibreOffice, these technologies and then of course you look at the Linux, right? How has Linux been so successful attracting, holding, and growing to the spot where they've overtaken Microsoft and Apple in usage, right? They've built their utility through the wisdom of the crowds, and how to do this in a replicable way isn't an unknown, right? It's not a one-off. There's books out there on how to do it. There's websites out there on how to do it. So, and there's people here in this community who probably know far more about all of that than I do. So how do we take all that wisdom in the age of AI, which is changing everything, and make a playbook, make a method of doing this as PLN gets to launch. Let it be handed to a team in the community who can say, oh, it needs this interface and needs to be in a Jupyter notebook and put in front of these universities, and this type of demo gets great action, and then there's a community suddenly that's working on PLN and growing it, or our predictive coding work, which is exciting things coming shortly for it, that haven't been announced yet, so I apologize. So these are the priorities. These are what we're looking at, and these are what it looks like to me. So it will be rough, and I apologize. This isn't, it would be nice if it were smooth and easy, but I do know also that the ambassadors deep, you all are used to experimentation and trying new things, and being on the edge of how systems can work or work better. And your expertise actually is guiding that process right now. How can we build these strong connections, internal to external, that make it frictionless and easy? So it's not, the thing that we don't want is that it's just like, oh, it's too much of an effort to put it to the community. We'll just try and do it ourselves. We're not scalable that way. We need to make it effortless, frictionless, easy, and in every way the community can demonstrate their ability to really hone in on what's needed, and help the organization see what Deep can deliver, what these amazing teams and individuals can deliver, are the ways that we make that the ways that we make that happen together. So again, anything that you're not hearing about changes isn't because we're not sharing, it's because it's still, I mean, we're all working it out together, and we're sharing as much as we can as soon as we can. And what we're trying to share is everything in the community questions document. We want to share, we want to make it absolutely clear what our priorities are, what winning projects will include, what projects that don't win would include, right? Like, don't do that. That's not what we're looking for. Everything that we're doing right now is just to begin to negotiate how we clearly communicate what we're looking for, how the community can do that, and then also make sure that it's really clear to everyone how what you're doing, what's being asked for, fits into the whole narrative, the vision, right? Okay, we're asking for this little thing over here. Why? Well, because it's part of this component, so that we can all, get here, get there, get to the end of that, get to the outcome that we're looking for. So I think that's everything I have. I think that's everything I know. Hyperon teams progress is accelerating. RFP process has been amazing. We want to do tons more of that. We also want help growing decentralized open source communities. And then we want to help make sure that all the priorities, all the things that we need within SingularityNet that the community can help with, that we can do that, so that we can leverage, accelerate, become become further, farther, faster, better BGI together. That's it. That's all I have.
All right. Thank you so much. Thank you, Ali. Thank you. That was a lot in a very good way. Yeah, a lot in a good way, right? I particularly liked the clarity. I'm sure that, I mean, sometimes the clearer you are on some things, then the more the questions that you have. That's a good thing. Yeah, yeah, and that is how engagement starts. That's questions at the beginning of engagement. What's this about? What can I do with this? What do you want me to do? Where can I fit in? What can I make of this? Where can I go from here? You know, and things like that. So yeah. So thank you, Ali. Thank you so much. So I wonder if Yan wants to speak on top of that, or Rafael Presa. But then we can start to have questions. I'm sure I saw Rakosi with some thumbs up. I saw Priska with some comments. So I imagine that people have one or two things that they want to say. So this is the time, or the point where you can indicate if you have questions for Eli, so that we can go on. Okay, Raphael. Raphael, you don't have to raise your hand. I mean, you are the whole event circle. You have veto. Raphael, please go ahead.
I need to respect the rules. No, but well, I do have questions just as a normal member. But this was great, Eli. Thank you so much for making the time and for preparing and for coming here and sharing a lot about the initiatives, the priorities, and what you'd like to achieve. This has been really helpful. I would just like to ask you two different things. One thing is, what do you believe, or if you had to give an advice to everyone here, what do you think is the best way for us to stay informed about the progress of the different initiatives and about everything that is going on within SNET?
Yeah, I think that that's one of the things, is building a space where everybody who's participating can be informed. I think Deep has, as I said, great systems for coordination, for, I mean, the ID system, the what I've seen of the reputation system that's going to be coming online, and all these links I think are incredible. I think that they're a great space to keep an eye on, as well as the town halls and such. Um, Everything will be communicated as best we can, you know, via Jan, via Raphael, in these town halls, in the ambassador town hall. So I don't think there's a one best answer there, but it will be here.
All right, thank you so much. And the other question would just be, you mentioned a community questions document. Is that, what did
I think Priska shared a document with me that I think was the accumulation of community questions that was gone
okay.
through yesterday when I was listening in at the
Yeah.
AMA. So
All right.
Oh, okay.
So just to clarify, Ayo, just to clarify,
okay.
some of the questions came in and it was asking, like, from SingularityNET, some of the questions were not questions related to Deep specifically, but to know what is going on in SingularityNET, the goals, any new initiative SingularityNET is working on that people would like to collaborate on. Yeah, so I listed them and sent to her so she could have a view of that.
Oh, okay. So Haley has answered those questions in her presentation. That's what you're saying.
Yes, so she touched on each, not
All
all,
right.
but majority. It's kind of like some of them are kind of similar. So she
Oh,
touched on it. I'm sure if anybody that listens to this carefully would understand most of the things and would even have ideas on how or on the things they can write proposals on, because she mentioned some significant things.
all right. Thank you, Priska. Okay, please go ahead,
I would
Haley.
clarify this way too, sorry, is that I think at first one of the ideas is to have quite a lot of requests flowing from, I think Jan mentioned it yesterday, a lot of budget going to requests from the organization as part of building really powerful alignment early on. We're looking at how do we really powerfully communicate very specifically what's needed so that community can just rise to that call and help with those very specific and pointed needs that we have right now and over the next couple months. And then as that alignment, as that understanding becomes stronger, as we all see the spot we're pointed at together better, then we have the opportunity to ideally open back out to more of the experimentation and ideation that's happening, like in the past with with the ambassadors, to expand that out more again, especially as when we have some of these tools launched. Just my speculation, there will be more need for, like right now we have need for, like, we need this tooling so that this thing is useful, and that's very specific. We need this, we feel we need this, and it's important to launch. Later it'll be like, okay, now we have all this tooling in place, we need stuff built on it, right? And there's opportunity. It looks strategically to me for more ideation on what we can build on that tooling once we're all really clear and aligned on where we're headed and what's there. Then that space, I feel, we hope, the intention is, opens up more towards what does the community want to build with these tools now that we've got them aligned and operating and making something really powerful.
All right. Thank you, Eli. Priska, I would like to just confirm: are there other questions on that place that we need to touch at all? Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, please go ahead.
Yes, there are a few, but I would like Rakosi to mention or say his questions. Then after we could take them.
Okay, you mentioned plural. You read Rakosi's mind. You think Rakosi would not do just a single question? Rakosi, please go ahead.
Lol. Thank you, Ayo. Thank you, Haley, for a beautiful presentation. I think you touched upon a lot of things that are really helpful for us, and you brought a lot of clarity. My first question is regarding Academy. So for the Academy, I mean, you said it's already um, it's in gestation period right now and being implemented. I think you said by the marketing circle, by the marketing team. Sorry, give me a second. I think you said by the marketing team. So how is ROI going to be measured for the Academy? Is it just certifications, or is it a number of Academy graduates who successfully win and deliver on RFP, for example?
We are pretty much at the edge of my knowledge with knowing that ASI Academy is moving forward, and the marketing team has a plan that they're moving forward on. I don't know, sorry.
Okay. I figure that. Another one that could be at the edge of your knowledge here as well, but on the role of architecture, for example. So if we were thinking that we wanted to architect features for the ASI stack to compete with big tech, uh, is there a product manager role, right, assigned to help bridge the gap between SNET's technical capabilities and the actual business needs of users, potential users, when it's commercialized?
I'm not sure that there is somebody in that role. So that's a very interesting question. We have um, we have product people in place looking to augment these with the tools needed. But I don't know that we've got, I am unsure. That would be beyond the edge of my knowledge space as well. I couldn't speak to that authoritatively.
Okay, it's okay. Um, Okay, Ayo, I think we can pass to some more questions, and as the
Th-
brain continues to spin,
Thank you,
I can
thank
raise
you,
my
Your
hands again.
Majesty, for sparing
Love.
us because I mean there are probably 98 other questions. Thank you, Rakuzi. Okay, just before Priska goes, Eli, I have this question. I've been thinking about it. I believe that in one of the conversations that the outlook is that the BGI and the ambassadors program of SNET and then the Deep community will come together in some sort of way and get all of these things going. And how exactly is that proposed to happen in terms of the on-ground execution of that, right? So, for example, I'm aware that the ambassadors program uses Discord, and there's a whole community there. And then the deep community is we have a whole city in Mattermost, right? And then so what's the plan? Because sometimes um, as much as it looks like a small thing, going from platform to platform sometimes can be you can have information lost here and there. Sometimes the pace slows down, and things like that. So I was just thinking generally as to how that might look in the future.
It's a good question. It's a central question, and it is still the sort of in progress central question. I think that there's more discussion towards how do we bridge spaces than how do we move any given team off of a space. I don't have an answer to that yet, but this is one of the big opportunities, right? Currently, the BGI Nexus tends to attract an audience that's not necessarily Web3 or necessarily just a SingularityNet, supporter, right? Where Deep and ambassadors have been the ambassadors in particular very closely related to supporting the SNET mission. Deep has been the mission of decentralized AI in almost a more general form on the ASI stack. And BGI Nexus has just been who anybody out there that's seeing the state of AI, maybe worried, and maybe wants to see something different happening or wants to be involved and not just watching. BGI Nexus becomes a space to gather that energy and to let people take that forward in productive ways. And I think that the BGI Nexus, for instance, becomes a great opening space for people who may want to then pursue SingularityNet mission or ASI tech stack and development and contribution to these very meaningful ways of driving BGI forward. But SNET's not the only way to drive BGI forward, right? There's many points and places to interact with that. But we would like that if people join BGI Nexus and they join these discussion spaces and innovation spaces, that they're also aware of the rest of the community arms here that they could join and be a part of and contribute to in deeper ways. And so that really is one of the centers that all three communities and SingularityNet are looking at very hard. How do we make that again seamless? And then, of course, like I said, building these bridges to connect SNET internal to community arms also needs to be seamless and frictionless. So this is again part of what's taking a while and why there's great clarity that, oh, we need to all be working together. And then how that happens, I mean, if we had AGI, that would make that easy, but we don't yet, which is the problem. So how that happens is all this flux that we're seeing right now. It's really just how do we make that happen in the smoothest way possible. So
All right. Thank you, Eli. Priska, yeah, we can take one of your questions, and then maybe we can alternate with questions that may come from the live audience. So Priscilla, please.
So
Yeah.
I'll give one question. There was another one I wanted to ask, but Gael asked it. So I'll give one that kind of is similar to it. This question says, are there any educational initiatives planned for the new tech stack? So is there anything?
Yeah. And I would point out we do have the ASI Academy. This isn't again my area per se, other than I do know that building tutorials, building documentation for these Hyperon components that we have working is a priority for this year, and it's happening. I don't know who's keeping tabs on Mork, for instance, but it has now extensive documentation. Meta has a really nice chess tutorial. Um, and these are the kinds of things that we want to replicate across components. Beyond that, I know there are always a number of things in the works, including the ASI Academy initiative and hackathon work, but I don't know them specifically enough to talk to them.
All right, thank you, Eli. This is Raphael. I see your hands. This is a public service announcement. Please ask your questions now before Gael asks them for you. So I just thought put it out there. He just asked Priska's question. All right, Raphael, please go ahead.
Yeah, this was a question that is not mine, but was asked to me, and I think it was a good question. That is, people asked, what about the other technologies in the ASI stack? Like when I say in the ASI Alliance, let's say, not just the ASI stack. Is there a space to support those as well, built by partners such as Kudos or Fetch, or should the focus be on SNet technology?
No, I think that we're a part of everything that we're doing right now is building that more unified ASI technology identity. I don't know if there's anything that I can speak to here, but yes, it's all one stack that we're looking to integrate much more strongly across products. That work is in progress and ongoing. I think I've had 2 meetings today where that particular area was discussed about how we're doing and going to do that. So it's across the stack.
Okay, thank you so much. Priscilla, I do not see any other hands, so can we take one question from your hand?
I think she has touched on everything from what I have here. The rest is for Jan to continue his AMA.
Okay.
So that will be like later when we are done discussing or we are done with our agenda for today, if we have time.
Okay. All right then. Jan, we are very sorry. I'm sure you're itching already to now just pulling your legs. Okay. I just want to say, I do not see any other hands up, so it looks like we might be moving to the next item on the agenda. But I just want to say that from the very much that's been said today, it looks to me like the community is asking people to interpret its dreams, right? This we have we have a lot, and then because we have a lot, it's also a lot to explain. So we are hoping that you have been paying attention, that you see what we need, because it is us, right? And we've been doing this together for a long time, right? And you know exactly what we want to achieve. We're saying integrate. We're saying, so tell us what we know, but we don't know how to tell you that we need. And then tell us how you're going to do it for us. So that's a call to everyone. Thank you very much, Eli. It was a very wonderful presentation. I'm surprised because you said, "Oh, you didn't know this was is such something that you need to prepare for." I wonder what it was going to be like if you prepared for it, right? I'll probably leave you on the call and just say, "Eli, I have to go to bed." Not because you're not interested, but because I didn't think you were going to spend 6 hours. I budgeted 2 hours for this call. So thank you so much. It's always a pleasure listening to you. Okay, so we can go right to the next item on the agenda, and I think it is the BizDev microsite, right, by Jan.
Thank you, Ayo, and thank you, Haley. I think you've just proven, Haley, that we can wake you up in the middle of the night and say, give a presentation on Hyperon now, and you'll just start speaking for half an hour. So thank you. Great. And you're so involved in all of these things. I mean, I get lost sometimes, and things are speeding up, right? There's Meta, and there is Peta, and there is Jetta, and there seems to be another one every week or something. So there was a time that I read through all those Hyperon and AI channels, at least to stay aware of what is going on. But these days it's hard to keep up because there's so much going on. And yeah, on that note, you guys also asked about where can we find stuff. Haley, I think you and me, we saw this new Hyperon website in the making. We had a sneak peek there. And I was very happy to see on that website all these terms and a lot more being explained in a very clear way. So I don't know what the planning is when that will be online. It looked already pretty good to me. And also it had a wealth of information and links to GitHub with more information. So at least there is a route to get all that information. And I'm sure we can do a lot of work and effort in making all that documentation so easier to consume. And yeah, that is where all of us would come in. Well, not me, you basically would come in. Yeah, to make that easier, understandable and consumable for different audiences. So yeah, there's a lot coming at us. It's not all here yet, but there's a lot coming at us. So I would say enjoy the peace and quiet while you still can until all that workload will be landing here and other places maybe as well. I don't know. Yeah, so we're already almost an hour in the meeting, and I saw on the agenda we also have a presentation of our backend. I think that's the new Deep Ops. So first of all, I think I'll have to be quick because I want to give, I assume it's Roho doing that presentation. He needs some time as well.
Yes.
Second, I'm very glad that Haley took all these difficult questions so I don't have to answer them. And third of all, we don't have time, Priska, for any more questions to me. It's done. It's over. I'm very sorry. But there will be plenty of opportunities, I'm sure. So let me try sharing my screen. Where is it? Yeah. Oh, I have to send a request. I'm not allowed yet. That gives me the opportunity to give a short introduction here, because what we've talked about is how Deep and SingularityNET and ASI will come closer together. And that is a great thing. And also BGI and the Ambassador, etc. I think I can share now. Wait a minute. Yay. This one, I think. Yeah. So just look at this wonderful screen here. I think this is my favorite screen of the whole website. I really like it every time I land here. The guys did a great job in that rebranding. And so what you see if you scroll down here, well, you see all these websites, etc. But then you see also very prominently our relation to SingularityNET and ASI technology. So yeah, I told you all that within Deep we will be working mostly on things that are aligned with these two pillars, but also, as Raphael asked, the tech stack around that. But this is not the entire story. There's another part to this story, and that's what I'm going to talk to you about a little bit today, but I'll try and keep it short and sweet. On one hand, we're closer to SingularityNET and we'll be doing a lot of useful tasks, I hope, in alignment with that tech stack. Let me rearrange my screen a little bit so I can see all of you a little bit better. Yeah, there you are. On the other hand, that's the second part of our Deep strategy. We want to make Deep into a platform where we not only service SingularityNET or ASI, but we can also service other partners. That could be partners in the ASI stack, but it could also be partners, enterprises, NGOs, governments, Web3 grant programs, whatever, outside of that area. And that will all tie into each other, because if we want to grow our community and if we want to bring more people into touch with the ASI tech stack, then the best and the fastest way to do that is to onboard not just individual users, but whole communities to our platform. So that is the big, hairy goal, the BHAG of Deep. Bring on new partners, and with that partners, bring on their communities on our platform. That's an audacious, so big, hairy, audacious job. That's the right acronym, right? Goal. But that's truly an audacious goal. It's not an easy thing. And we thought long and hard about it. We have also been working on making everything ready for that for a year and longer with our infrastructure, with also Ro will show you a little bit about the smart contracts underlying that infrastructure, and a lot more. And one of the latest parts of the puzzle was to make that all very clear to our partners. So what is it that we are offering and what will you get out of it? And SingularityNET and ASI is a lot, like I've heard that a couple of times this night, I think, but even only Deep is already a lot, and it's getting more and more every month, it seems. So this is just, in case you haven't been here for a while, this is our new website and our new branding, and I really love it. But we will be creating 2 subdomains to our project's website. Oh, by the way, maybe today, I don't know, we could have our new single sign-on here implemented. That will be sign in with Deep. And with sign in with Deep, you will be able to have a single sign-on on all our website, but it will also be extended to the ASI stack. So with sign-on with Deep, you will also be able, with your same credentials, to log in very quickly, for instance, to ASI Create when it comes live. So that's already a big step, but I won't tell too much. I think we can fill half an hour about that product alone, but it's better done by somebody else probably. So without further ado, this is our new portal, partner micro website, as we call it. We're hosting it under partners.deepprojects.ai. It's not live yet. We have been working on this today with Marcelo. Maybe he can tell a little bit about it, but I'm not sure how much time we have left. How he worked on that all by himself with all these great new tools that we have to our service these days. And what this main website is doing is giving partners information about our proposition, what we are, what we do, and what we have to offer. It's still a little bit work in progress. There may be some rough edges. There may be some textual changes that we need to go in, but we have worked on it over the past weeks, and I think it's in a good enough shape already to put it live. Give or take maybe 1 or 2 errors, I'm not sure, but we're still working on those. I'll just walk you through it very quickly. You can look at it hopefully tomorrow or in the weekend or something when we have it live. And then we're planning next week to have a training session for people who would like to help onboard customers, because, and I'll just show this right now, we have another subsite which will be affiliates.deepprojects.ai, which will show you how you can generate your own referral code to a form. And if any partner uses that form to submit their interest in Deep, and that partner will really convert into a customer, then you will get a reward for that. But first, the partner website, some percentages, some ways to work for it. For who is it? So this is already a very cool one, I think. So NGOs and nonprofits, or government bodies, Web3 programs, or commercial organizations. This gives some direction on the broadness of our proposition and what kind of types of organizations we are aiming. I won't go through all the website. You can do that on your own pace. Hopefully, well, let's say in the weekend. What else do we have to do in the weekend, right? So this would be a great way to spend your time. What we have here, so these are the main things. So these are our main proposition. As a partner, you can start an ideation challenge. And for most of you, this will be familiar territory, I hope. But if you're new to Deep, it's really a lot to take in. Or you can publish a request for proposal, multiple. You could host a funding round, or you could start a deep lab project. I won't explain all these things in detail, but just show that if you are clicking on these things, that you will get a whole subpage with a lot of information about what it is, what's in it for you, what you get, what the result is, and how it works, and what it costs. We are also very open and transparent about it, but I'll tell you a little bit more about that later. Here in the menu, you see all these options, and all these pages are formatted in a similar way. They give a lot of information for whoever is new to the program. And it's very nice structured. Thank you, Marcelo, for making such a great site in such a short time. I'll do one more just for fun, but just scrolling through it, and I hope you get curious enough to look at it for yourself one of these days. I think what I usually do if I get on a site like this, I very quickly go through this pricing page, which usually these sites have. And here you will see a small graphic that shows how everything fits together. We also mention Hackathon as a service that we can offer. I won't dwell on this too much. Well, let us actually do this very quickly, because this is a good overview. So any partner could start with an idea, an ideation challenge, and an idea would come out of that, or multiple. And they can either turn that idea in an RFP, or they can turn that idea in, they can choose to elaborate a little bit more on that idea and see if it is viable, make a proof of concept out of it in a lab project. And then when we have a lab project, you can do two things. You can say, okay, we have tested it, it's possible, we know how we want to have it done, now we make an RFP out of it. Or you could say, well, this team is actually working so great and I like them so much. Let's skip this RFP phase and let them work, and let them continue to work on it until we have a reasonable product. Both are possible. With the RFP, you introduce a new area of competition. You can have more proposals coming in. You can give a better upfront definition of all your requirements and get a clear estimate of the budget involved. And yeah, what is very important in everything we are doing is this milestone-based approach. So we'll have a milestone approval process, and we only pay for milestones that are approved, delivered, and approved. So here's more information on the pricing on all these four things and what you get for it. I won't bore you to death by reading this all, but I think it will give you, on the first glance, already a pretty good idea of what we have to offer here. AMPS, this is a new term. I think, well, I don't know, I won't make that comment, but I think a lot of you haven't heard of it. It stands for Automated Milestone Payment System. And it's something that we're really proud of, both the legal framework around it and the technical framework around it. It allows partners to put money in a vault that is then used to pay our awarded projects. So the projects have some security that the money is actually there, that it won't just be taken away. But at the same time, the partner still has a lot of control. They in the review process, and that is also shown in some of these wonderful screenshots here. There's a process where our review circle can approve, but the partner will also approve these milestones, and only then they will be paid. There's story for that as well, but that's a story for another day. I will make a presentation about that and upload that somewhere as well. So yeah, I haven't actually tried and click on this, but yeah, it works. Also, this is something we are very proud of, our milestone. Do you see my other tab now? Or do you still see the old tab?
Yes, yes, we see the other tab now.
You see the milestone review report?
Yes.
Yes, yes,
okay.
we do.
So this is a very structured way of how we are doing our milestone reviews with a wealth of information, and the structure is always the same, so you can very quickly go over it and you see why a project is approved or not approved, because sometimes we have to reject milestones. So thank you, Paulo, and everybody in the review circle for improving, and Slate for this great portal that we created all these screenshots from, and Egu also, the three big people in the review circle, for continuously improving the process and the professionality of our services. I know that I'm taking way too much time here. I'm sorry for that. But it's such a cool site and I like to go through it. So yeah, a lot of information here. I think this is probably the most important page, and a very well structured and very clear page. Yeah, another one, which is still a little bit in progress. This one, these videos are now local. They will be, or maybe are already published on YouTube, and then it will look a little bit different, but we have some very nice videos created with support of Rakosi here, but also a lot of others that created materials and worked very hard on this over the past week. And for those that are interested in more information, also the backend process and so on, this will give a wealth of information and details about how we do things in deep funding. Book a call. A partner can book a call, and when they go through the process, they see my Calendly, and you can make an appointment with me. And I hope that my whole Calendly will be full, and I will be completely stressed with all those meetings. But I'm sure there will be very positive meetings that will give me a lot of energy. So keep them coming, get them coming. One short one for this, and I don't have to refresh this one. So here you can get a referral link. It's a very simple form. Enter your name, your address, and you'll get the link sent to your mailbox. And with that link, if you share that with your prospects, your candidates, and they use that link to enter the form, then they will make you rich. Well, maybe not rich, but you can make a buck. And what you can make is also all explained right here. 60% on whatever is allocated on the 3% that we take as a fee of the total amount that is allocated. Do you still follow me? I make this complex on purpose. No, just kidding. But basically 1.8% of what a partner allocates to a project will be returned to the affiliate as an award during the first year. So that is the basic thing. For ideation challenges, it's a flat fee. It's a flat fee for the customer and also for the first year for every ideation challenge that your partners, the partners that you bring on, will put on the platform, you will get $500. And for lab projects, we mentioned also a 3% fee on everything that will be allocated during that first year to a lab project. Nothing here, not this, and also not the pricing. We thought long and hard about these prices, but we also have to learn, right? It's a new journey, and it might be that with all our conversations, both with affiliates, but also with our partners, we'll learn and we'll see that we need to change something somewhere. So we thought about this long. We have good reasons to have it like this, but still maybe in 2 months, 3 months, 6 months, there might be some changes. We'll see. So keep an eye on that. I think that's all for me right now. Yeah, apply as a partner. So this would be, yeah, it's a 3-step form. I don't need to go through that. You will see that by yourself. And yeah, I hope in a couple of days you'll be able to browse this site for yourself, both of these sites. So the partner hub and the affiliate site. We did that at a separate page, not to confuse the partners. And yeah, it's not a secret. Both will be visible as links in the footer, so anybody can see them. But we want the partner to focus on the partner stuff and not on the affiliate stuff. Marcelo, I'm not sure if we have time. Would you like to add something about the process you went through here, or would you prefer to give the stage to probably Roho and maybe have another presentation at another day?
No, I promise I will be quick. And can you hear me? It's okay.
Yes. So big
Yes.
applause for Marcelo. Thank you for creating this wonderful site. It's really great work with a very quick turnover. So I'm really impressed and happy with it.
It's crazy, guys. All the changes we are going through. Until 6 months ago, I was just making buttons on Figma. Oh, that's not over, but now we go from an idea to a real usable product in a short time. I've been always use AI for projects, but in separate parts. And for this project that Jan brings to me, I let the agents do the work, and we become only as an architect thinking and refining things and learning to control this entire process with AI, and having the total control of the project. It's something that I think it's amazing, and I'm very excited in years of working in technology with this power that AI can bring for us and for the process and for the work. That's it. Thank you, Jan. Thank you, Judith. Thank you, Raphael, for all the help, for all the helps, and let's create great things.
Yeah, well, we're already doing that, and I hope that we and maybe also SingularityNET ASI will be able to benefit from this expertise of yours. And it's not for every site, so our platform is very sophisticated. There are a lot of layers there with a lot of automations and a lot of scripts and integrations and so on. That wouldn't work, at least not yet. Maybe in a year, who knows? But for this site, which is static in nature, it worked like a charm. So very happy with that. Thank you. If there are any questions, you can ask them now or come to the training session next week. We'll put some notification out somewhere, I don't know where, and let you know. And you're very welcome.
All right. Thank you very much, Ian. That was sweet. As to whether it was short, I'm not so sure. Thank you so much. All right, I do not see any hands at all. And we are 15 minutes on top of 1 hour. So maybe we can go right to Roho's presentation. And I also want to use this opportunity to say thank you to Yan for your leadership of the community. We joke about how you are probably using a clone somewhere. I find out your secret to be out one day. You can't be one person doing all of this. So thank you so much for the arts and the effort. Okay, Roho, over to you. I already made you co-host, so you have share access.
Thank you.
Oh, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Good. Oh, this is your face. It's been a while. All right. Yes, we can hear you loud and clear.
Thank you. So, for this presentation, I have one bad news and one good news. The bad news is that the staging instance is down, so I won't be able to give like a full-fledged kind of showcase of everything. But I did manage to, while you guys were talking, to run it locally on my machine. So I'll be able to show some stuff. So this is the good part. Well, where do I start? Let's start with a little bit of a timeline, right? So the Deep Operations Platform Backend Office has so many names. It started basically as a bunch of automations on top of Google Sheet. So we had our database built on Google Sheet, and we just, like would handle some stuff automatically using different automation platforms like Zapier, Make, and also N8N lastly. And then we made the decision to move to a more robust solution, to actually build an application with a robust backend and with an actual front end. And when that decision was made, well, how do I choose this? Let's see. Okay, it's asking me for some settings to allow the share screen, so let me give it that. Right, I have another bad news, so I have to quit and rejoin apparently after I give this permission. So give me a second, coming.
All right. So while Roho is trying to rejoin, the context here is that we have not just a robust community, we have not just the plan to have partners come execute their projects, their RFPs, their ideations on our platform. It's also that we have a system where things can be executed. People, community, handling different things without running into confusions or chaos. And this is exactly what the operations platform allows us to do. And that's exactly what Roho will be sharing, how all of this comes together, what gives us the confidence to say, if you are a nonprofit or an NGO and you are bringing a big project to our ecosystem, how are you sure that we can manage it? Yeah, so this is exactly how we manage all of that. So yeah, for context, Roho, looks like you are back.
Yes, okay, so let me figure out what everything is here. Okay, so I had to open a bunch of tabs to go back to the call. All right, so as I was saying, so we made the decision to actually make an application with a formal backend and with the full stack development. Again, we had to go a bunch of iterations and all of that, and this is what got us to this place. So this is basically the operation platform as it is. This is a staging version. So here a member would come in. For example, I'm logged in here as Roho Capote, and this would give me the main dashboard for a user. This would show your main information, your tasks in a graph, and it would also show you the tasks that are registered in the system. You can also check out payments in payment history with a bunch of features that most of our community members are familiar with. You can see the details here and the status of your payment, and also like some details about approval and transaction and stuff like that. It has even more features for review coordinators or review members as well. And this would include review specific stuff. So review dashboard that would show like review records that are ongoing. I guess we don't have any here in this staging version. And you can also see projects. So reviewers need to have access to projects data. So this is also available. And when it comes to admins, there is much more IDs. I didn't mention analytics before for members and coordinators, but we have a bunch of analytics about the community and stuff like that that are available. And there are more full in-depth analytics available to admins. Review things, as I mentioned. We have payments. So this is basically the dashboard where most of our payments happen weekly nowadays. You can see here that there are more functionalities. So basically you can approve payments and things like that. You can create payment records. So this is our current state of what the operation platform is. We have transactions. So this is where we reconcile on-chain transactions with actual payment records. We also have funding pools. This is a feature that is going to be deprecated since pools are not a thing anymore. And then we have payment tokens for on-chain functionality. This is something that is coming in. And also funding contracts where you can create escrows and link them with a project and create a recipient wallet and the awarded amount and all of that. So all of these are functionalities from the automated payment system that I'm going to talk about in 1 minute, but in a different sense. So again, to give you a bit of a storyline here. When we decided to create the payment system using smart contracts, there was a different direction. So we were still going with the rounds approach as a funding company, and basically Deep was going to be the sole funder for most of the project, and perhaps we will have some partners here and there, and that was the direction. Now, this system in, I would say, the last month is going for the direction of from a back office, so something that is mainly being used by community members, Deep community members, and Deep company leadership and stuff like that, to an open platform. And the platform is led by 3 main goals. So it's an open platform, meaning that it's open for all. It's community-based platform. That's 2. And it's also basically an AI-enabled platform. And I will explain what that means in the new version of this app. So I guess, yeah, you can see it. So we changed how the application looks. Not, well, the UI still looks, I would say, probably the same, but the way how a user navigates the application. For example, we have here our main dashboard. This is where the user is going to land. It will show them the circles that they're part of, the projects that they're part of, the tasks that they're assigned for the last month, and the payments that are paid or due for the last month. It also shows you a stream of events and things like that in the main screen. You can also see a quick navigation to your tasks, funding alert, and some quick actions that you can take. It will also show you some payments. So this is a quick look at your payment history. And again, this is running locally, so it won't show you much. I'm sorry for that. But I will be sharing with you a staging version once it's ready. So here you would be seeing basically like payment records that are assigned to you, so either paid or due. And you would also be able to see your reputation. So reputation score is something that will be added newly. So it's not something that the community so far is like used to. But it's basically like a score based on your interactions and based on feedback from clients or from people that create projects that you're assigned to. Other than the home, so we have teams. So the core change that we have here is historically, a team has been either a funding team, so a team that creates a project, which is something as well that is new that has been deprecated. But also we have awarded teams, and awarded teams is something that most of us are familiar with. So those are the teams that win a project inside a round or an RFP, a challenge or something like that. So the new way of thinking about teams is a collection of people that have a common purpose. And users, including you and any person who actually signs up for the app, will be able to create a team. And it doesn't matter if you have a project or not, but you will be able to group your friends and colleagues that you're used to working with and create a team that can basically apply to projects or create circles and other type of activities. And it's a straightforward creation process. I mean, you just have a short form. You basically decide how your team is operated. So it can be an open team that anybody can join, or it could be an application-based where you receive applications, or invitation-based where only the people that you invite will actually join the team. Once we go to a team, we get to the team hub. So the team hub shows you specific things like the members, and here you can add members by inviting them through email, or you can do some actions like deleting or editing members' roles here. And you can filter by role or by status. Sorry, something else that we have. So we have projects. Every team can either create or can be assigned to projects. So in this screen, you'll be able to see those projects. Same for circles. So you can either be part of a circle or you can create a circle, and you'll be able to see them here. And then you have here your settings. So for now, the settings are quite simple. So you just have your name, your description, the access model that you have, the wallet address, and also your preferred payment token. The next thing that we have is circles. So circles historically in Deep was basically created as like a subsection of Deep's community that have a specific role, right? So you have your analytics or your operation or your marketing circle. We try to basically expand the definition of a circle into a community by itself. So now a circle can basically be around can have like a common goal, like a specific technology, like for example PLN or meta language or some other technology, or it could be any type of commonality that exists between those people inside that group. So any group that feels they have a common cause can create a circle. It doesn't have to be created by Deep itself, so any person can actually create it. And once you create a circle, you're asked again for your access model. Do you want it to be an exclusive circle or an open circle or an invitation-based circle? And then every circle is owned by a team. So something else, projects. When it comes to projects, we have a very similar thing. So again, you can create a project, same form. We have slightly more details here, like is it actually a standalone project or attached to a circle? If a project is created inside a circle, then you can basically do that linking. And then you have task eligibility. So for every task created inside that project, do you want it to be open for everyone, or do you want it to be only for the project people? Right? So this is especially relevant for clients that will come, perhaps not having a large community. They might want to create a project that is open for the whole community and for anyone to join and contribute to that project. In here, as users, as community members, you will be able to explore. Ongoing projects, and you'll be able to apply to tasks inside those projects, including the projects that will be started by yourselves. Because again, going with the direction of the project-based approach, most of these projects will be seen here, and you will be doing the management for payments and all those details inside this platform. Again, you can see here tasks. So as a user, you'll be able to see your tasks, the one that you applied for and the one that are assigned to you, and the ones that are under review. I'm actually a little bit sad that you can't see much of things here. Most of the screens are given like just blanks. But yeah, I'll make sure to share with you more details later in the all hands. Again, we come almost lastly to billing and payments. This is something that you're all familiar with. So this would show you your payment records, basically the payments that are due to you that I showed you in the previous one. I think it was here. So it's something similar to this, but more UX friendly, I guess. And then you can see funding here. This is a new feature, and this is what Jan referred to as an automated payment system. So here, as a team, you will be able to create a treasury. And this is a place where you basically deposit money that will be used for tasks, for projects overall. And once you create the treasury, you will be able to allocate funds to specific projects. Now, classically, we were going with the model of a project will be created and will be assigned an amount. This would be good for funded projects because we know how much it will cost upfront. So with the new model that we're working on, you will be able to assign an initial value, but you will also be able to allocate more funds as you go. So if the project expands and keeps going, you'll be able to add funds to it so that the project doesn't get stopped. And you can create a single treasury per team, and that will manage all your projects. So it will create sub mini treasuries or escrows. We shouldn't use the word escrow, but yes, this is, yeah. But yeah, like mini treasuries basically where you can manage project specific budgets. And you will have multiple teams, so you can select the team and create a treasury for each one of them that is separate.
Legally, we can't say that we are offering escrows, but I learned today that we can say that we have escrow-like functionality in our platform. So
yes, so we have escrow-like functionality, which is the treasury structure. I think probably treasury is a good way of referring to it as well, because you as a team control the keys to that actual money where it's deposited. What else do we have? So we have admin console. Probably this is all right. So admin console. So this is specific to the admins of the platform, Jan, Rafael, like basically the management team behind the platform. And this will have a bunch of stuff, like an overview of users, an overview of circles, same for projects. Again, you can't see much here, but it's not great. But payments, transactions, payment tokens, active escrows, and platform settings and platform. Oh, that's a duplicate. Yeah, that should be removed. Platform analytics and platform settings. Platform settings will be. Should I talk about that, Jan, or is it too early? Like basically premium versus normal users, restrictions around like normal users and stuff like that.
not quite sure what you're getting at, but I don't think there's anything you cannot tell, but
it's not about not telling, it's just well, the idea basically, since this is an open platform, is somehow we should make some money out of it so that we can sustain the platform itself. And one idea that came out is, since this is going to be a useful product to third parties, it would make sense to monetize some of the features that are available here. And that would include milestones for payment milestones, or for which would include like some fixed percentages that will be taken as kind of a fee for facilitating the whole process. But also there are some features of the platform itself, like creating illimited numbers of circles or illimited number of projects that will require like a monthly subscription thing that we will have. But yeah, I mean, all of these are sideline information. Overall, this is what the current state of the product will be, and you will see this product on your screens. We're hoping a month from now, and we're working very hard to make that happen. Now, this covers the open platform, this covers the community-based platform, but it does miss one thing, which is that I mentioned in the beginning, AI enabled. So far I haven't mentioned anything about AI. And the AI part is coming in as agents that will be actually assigned to tasks as well. So what do I mean by that? Circles and projects will be able to add agents, and we're discussing integrations with ASI Create, which is basically a platform developed by ASI, to actually assign agents created there to do tasks that can be done by agents and to make money for the circle. So a circle or a project can basically, or a team can create some agents that will be assigned to tasks, for specific tasks, making a graphics or making some article or something like that. And they will be able to collect the money that will be assigned for that task that is done by the agent. So this is a new economic model for projects to actually also sustain themselves, for teams to sustain themselves, and also for circles to expand the knowledge, expand the expertise, and also basically expand the game where they're playing. Like it's not just humans versus humans, but now it's almost AI plus humans versus humans. So we're willing to go play that game as well. We don't have a lot of screens yet about that feature because, again, it's not clear how it will be implemented. But we are in the planning phase, and we'll share like more screens and more ideation, basically, to also capture how the community would like to interface with those agents. It will be great if you guys sign up for ASI Create once it is fully publicly launched. Because again, as we said, like ASI Create will be our primary, let's say, source for agents. This is how we are thinking about it. So it will be great if you go there, create your agents, experiment with it, and see and give us feedback on how this will be useful inside the platform. And we'll make sure to listen and like implement something that is useful to our users. This is it from my side. If you have any questions.
I can add one thing, and I think you didn't mention that, so that if we can integrate it with ASI Create. I think having this task system for automated tasks and bots, etc., is still some time away, but it's a very nice perspective. However, that will hopefully relieve us from some more boring work as well.
Yeah.
But I think what you didn't mention is
plugins.
What I was very interested about is integrating other task systems.
Yes.
So we have our own task system, our task management system that you're all familiar with. There are also native tasks here in this platform, so you can quickly make a task here. However, there's also the option to integrate this with other third-party task systems. So SingularityNET Marketing, as far as I know, is working with ClickUp. So we could integrate this with ClickUp, and then marketing would just create a task like they are always doing with ClickUp, and then assign it to somebody in our community, and then it will be handled. It will enter, and we can work on it. We could do the same with Jira, Trello, and whatever we think of. And we can even make that the kind of plug-in to the platform. So everything that has been built until today has been targeted to one team that was assigned to build this, headed by Rojo. But in the future, we would be able to have an RFP for certain plugins that would extend the functionality. So we could call it extensions, maybe. And it could be, for instance, for these kind of things like the other task management system integrations.
And yeah, Jan, I have more good news, because as we were thinking with the team about like a plugin structure and like a formal plugin structure, the same way as you would do with Shopify, for example, you would actually like get a plugin that would extend functionality or integrate with another party. The ID extended from just doing it for task management system to the whole thing, because again, we handle payments here. So some other thing that is like, again, just comes to your head that is very useful is accounting systems, because again, you have payments as a business. I would like to port those payment records and include them in my accounting. So integration for accounting will be super useful. And we can think of many other types, communication systems, like Telegram, Discord, and all of those integrations. So we don't have to be restricted by Mattermost or restricted by this platform or another. We can have plugins for all of them, and the user or the user can choose which one are they gonna utilize. All of this will be in a plugin structure. We won't develop all of the plugins. What I hope we will do, and again, we have to talk internally about this, we hope to open source the platform, give enough documentation for everybody, hopefully have some RFPs out for people to develop specific integrations and or plugins as we call them. And hopefully some teams will do it for themselves. I mean, for selfish reasons. If you're using the platform and it's useful to you, and you're also using, I don't know, like ClickUp or Open Book or whatever other platform out there, maybe you create the plugin just for your own purposes, and we will benefit from that open source collaborative nature. So yeah, we'll have that as well. The plugin structure will be out with this version. So once this version is out, we'll have plugin functionality out there. The open sourcing of the platform, again, this is probably some legal discussion. I guess there's some aspects of that as well, but it will be great if we can do that as well.
Yeah, so this is really a very important pillar underpinning Deep as a platform. And yeah, I'm getting renewed enthusiasm here. I mean, we have that microsite with the offer, but we also have the ability to support these teams with confidence and not get wildly crazy like we did at the time. We still had to do everything in an Excel sheet. We can't afford that if we're working with partners, and we can't afford that if we work with partners with lots of money. Everything needs to be crystal clear and well in place, and we have perfect reporting and so on. But this idea of extending this platform, indeed with task systems, but also with integrations with companies' accounting system, imagine where that will bring us as a platform. And then with you as communities and community circles, collective, offering all kinds of capabilities to the partners that, well, also you will onboard. Yeah, if we can make that work, if we can kick it off, I think the hard part is to the next step to onboard the next 5 partners or something. And the first one will be the hardest, of course. But I think once we get that running and we give these partners a good experience and they understand what they can do and they get value back from the system, yeah, the sky is the limit. We could become infinitely large with all this tooling. And that's what we are preparing for, and what we have been preparing for actually for a very long time already, more than a year.
To add something, I mean, what the Deep platform allows you now to do with the current infrastructure is for you to be a business owner without having to build the business. So each and every one of you can go out there and get clients, and they're sure that behind them there is a team that they're not necessarily hiring. So you're working together as a community to actually provide these services, almost the same as a business. And I would say it is a business. Just as an individual, behind you as a community, you can create teams without having to go through the legal frameworks of creating companies and all of that, and bring clients, provide your services, and get other services from other community members, so that you can actually provide value for businesses and value for individuals out there.
All right. Thank you so much, Roho. Thank you, Ian. They all come together very beautifully. I imagine that everybody can tell how all of this comes together. So thank you so much. I know that I promised at the beginning of this town hall that it was going to be a different one. It was super loaded. Each of the presentation could have been a town hall by itself, and then we brought it all together. 3 powerful presentations from very powerful people in the ecosystem. So thank you so much. I would like to take questions, contributions regarding this. I also understand if people don't have questions because, wow, where do we start from? Right? So, yeah. So, any question? Yes, Ellie. Yeah. I like that. Uh, Perhaps I play too many games and watch too much manga. This strikes me as just build on some nice work. Anyone come in, take it after the work, get rewarded for completion. Totally agree. Form teams and take on big dragon fighting tasks to build something amazing. Yes, totally. I can relate. Extract adventures from Dennis. Oh, a revision is XP to improve your level. Amazing. I am going to go save this chat so that if anybody wants to gamify our ecosystem, I'll say this is where you must begin. I'll say this is where you must begin. So I'm saying that.
I get 5% of the NFT.
Well, I get 5 as well because I was quick to say let's save this. All right. I do not see any hands up. All right. I would implore everyone to, once this is on YouTube, to go watch. Yes, please, Roho.
I wanted to ask before I forget, if anyone is interested in early testing of the new version of the app, as I mentioned earlier, it will be great if you can reach out. I think a group of maybe 5 to 10 people would be perfect, just to get your early feedback. Again, we want to launch this like super quickly, so it will be nice to have a group of enthusiastic individuals to test the app and perhaps talk to us about extra features that you're interested in and stuff like that.
All right. So can people reach out from through the Ops support channel?
Yes,
so
you can reach by DM or you can reach through the operation support channel. Just make sure you tag me wherever you are. If I'm in that channel, I'll respond.
All right. Ileana Perez just mentioned that you would be interested. All right. Thank you, Roho. All right. So I think this is a very good place to draw the curtain. Please remember to watch this again on YouTube once it's up. And I say that because a lot were discussed today. We discussed quite a lot today. And for everyone who has the ecosystem in mind and wants to be part of the future of this ecosystem, it is a smart thing to go back to internalize all of these things that have been discussed. This will help you find your footing. You know, usually when planes take off, you have to be seated and belted, and so that kind of a thing. And thank you so much, everybody. And then Jan mentioned something yesterday on the Deep Funding, on the Deep Project website. Priska shared the link earlier. Please do go there and complete your profile. It is important. It's one of the very best advice that anybody can give anyone right now. I promise you. All right, please let's go do that. All right. Don't if you see people like Roho and you see their profile not completed, don't compare yourself to Roho. You know, it might just be a case of this skills that you see was performed under intense supervision. Do not try this at home, kind of a thing, right? So please do go complete your profile. Thank you, Roho, for presenting, and I want to say thank you to the event circle for putting this together. Thank you, Eli, for showing up and sharing as such depth and as such width at the same time. Yeah, thank you for your presentation. You kept it sweet, but nobody expected you to keep it short. So you didn't disappoint anybody. So we're fine. We would have been surprised and disappointed if it was really short. We're like, yeah, what's the problem? Right? So true to character, we love you like that. And Roho, thank you for all the work that you do. in the operations. Raphael Presser, you've not said anything today. Can we break that jinx and just say something?
No, just yeah, as many of you, I bet I am very excited with everything that is coming, and also being able to see all the parts that we built throughout these years coming together to solve, well, to reach our objectives and goals, right? Especially now in this new phase with other stakeholders and organizations, ambassadors and BGI, even ASI, we are going to be closer to, and we can see all the work that we put through these years coming together to support this even bigger vision of the future. So really excited. And last word, thank you all. Thank you all for being part of this and contribute.
All right. Thank you so much. Very wonderful place to draw the curtain on today's edition of the Deep Project Town Hall. So we'll meet again next week for the open all ends, and then probably on Thursday for the AMA concerning the partners onboarding training. Please keep in touch. We'll reach you on across all of the channels. Thank you so much for joining. Thank you so much. I had an amazing time hosting. I thought it was going to be stressful. It turned out to be very, very interesting, not stressful at all. I could continue for 1 hour more, but don't let us continue. All right. So thank you so much, everybody. Bye.